Hello, everybody. Typhlosion Corner here with somewhat of my thoughts on a up and coming movie coming out in another 2 months. In which, unfortunately, that has to be so, considering they got pushed a couple of days from the original date that it's supposed to premiere, which is the Godzilla vs King Kong, or at least Godzilla vs Kong movie. Considering this is somewhat of the remake of the very first one that they did so long ago, and that from what I've seen so far, as a lot of people have talked about and possibly discussed of who's going to win this particular type of fight and whatnot, and that at anything, it's hard to really to explain, or at least to somewhat say my thoughts on the particular thing, considering it's still not time yet, and still so far from when we actually do and to be watching this movie, considering it's not until towards the end of March for this kind of thing. But if I really had to, well, before I even get on to my notes on this particular thing, I'm just surprised that we finally do end up getting to be watching this movie, considering it was supposed to be. I think if I'm not mistaken, from what I just saw for a certain picture from a while ago, for the first artwork of Godzilla vs Kong, that it was supposed to be around November when it came out for the movie itself, but because of this stuff with the pandemic and whatnot, now it's being pushed, and it got pushed until it got to being here, which is, as I said before, or at least as to what it is now, is towards the end of March when it finally does premiere, both in theaters, depending on either if it's a certain place that you go for the movies that you go to that is going to have the movie shown, or at the very well, at least depending on how your movie theaters, to wherever you're at, have anything for to be watching something like this, or which I'm pretty sure either some to most people are going to be doing, is getting HBO Max and to be watching it that way. Not saying either or is best, just that considering it kind of makes a little bit more sense doing it through HBO Max than it would be for anything else. But I really don't want to go into that kind of opinion type thing right now. So to the majority part, I mean, going back from the original Godzilla versus King Kong, or King Kong versus Godzilla, considering that's how it is for the original title for the movie, it's kind of hard to tell exactly, because to a particular point, that in that one, Godzilla is the one that's the bad guy in that one, and that the reason why, it being still the original Godzilla from the original 1954 movie, and then considering that's also going from I don't know exactly how many months to whatever, how long it was until King Kong versus Godzilla came out, because that it came out right after Godzilla raids again, which that's how it explains why he's trapped in ice towards the beginning part of the movie for that Godzilla movie, for King Kong versus Godzilla, and then he's still the one that is attacking everybody for no good reason, compared to a lot of the other Godzilla movies where he's actually helping mankind and whatnot. And to pertaining towards what's the new one, the new remake, it seems so strange how a lot of people would be pinning a lot of stuff on Godzilla when this one's a little bit more different, considering the fact of the first two movies that he helped mankind. I mean, yeah, more of like a that way they wouldn't destroy the world type thing, and depending if that actually was with the humans or whatnot, that he at least took out something that would have made the whole entire world catastrophic for everybody, including him. In which like it being the Mudos in the first one, and then it being King Ghidorah in the second one for King of the Monsters. Even though it kind of seems strange, considering the fact that one of the particular monsters towards the end of the movie, after dispatching most of King Ghidorah, was a Mudo, or at least the bug, compared to all the other Titans and whatnot. And that, just that, of all the accolades so far that Godzilla, at least for Legendaries, Godzilla has already done, and that, I mean, I understand Kong being somewhat more in tune with, humans and whatnot, if anything, more of people of where he lives in Skull Island. It makes to make sense of, like, protecting certain people, and to this particular movie protecting a certain child, as it somewhat should has shown for the first teaser trailer that we got back last Sunday. So it was like this Sunday last week for the new movie, and then hopefully get a little bit more explained, possibly either by this next month, starting for tomorrow, or at least somewhere in the beginning of the month or so, to have another trailer, or at least have more information spelled out to us. To one spoiler, I would have to say, not saying that I saw anything, but for certain things I've so far have seen, and to anybody who has so far, and again, this is a spoiler, or depending on however anybody wants to interpret this as a spoiler or not. Um, Apparently, Mecha Godzilla might be also showing its face in this movie, which kind of makes no sense in a way, because I mean, for all the Mecha Godzillas, and depending on who's actually making it, building, and using this mecha compared to like all the other ones, like when majority of people have been saying for certain time for this mecha, like they think that it's going to be something like the Godzilla from the from the 70s, if I'm not mistaken, for the which I would call space Mecha Godzilla, but not like how it would be like a mechanized variation of Space Godzilla, but one that's been made out of the space titanium Mecha Godzilla, and that also falling to the next movie, or at least the next one that has that particular Mecha Godzilla, being Terror of Mechagodzilla, in which, again, this is another time that they're trying to take out Godzilla using a mecha, but this is more of like an evil group of alien beings that ends up trying to do it, compared to like all the other ones where, like for Godzilla's Mechagodzilla 2, which that's the Earth's variation of the Mechagodzilla, and trying to dispatch of Godzilla around that time. And then same on after with Cairo, which is the one that's the one with the bones, which technically was a big mistake in the first place, considering they used part of Godzilla to make it in the for those particular two movies. And then not so much, depending on if you count the anime Godzilla from Netflix, in which is shown to like not really even be utilized. I mean, somewhat shown in like shadow, or at least a certain type of way of showing what this particular creature would look like, and to the majority part of the anime only being just a head, if anything. I mean, they've shown pictures, and I think there has been a figure made. I don't know exactly if it's by Bandai or if it's something else, like the same company that made my one I got for the Godzilla Earth figure. But to the majority part, that just it seems so strange, especially depending if you have seen the picture of what the mecha is going to look like through the pop vinyl of the Godzilla versus King Kong, or Godzilla versus Kong. I'm sorry for messing that up. Um, and how it looks. I really don't like exactly what it looks like. It kind of looks a little more like a gecko, like a gecko looking kind of thing, especially with the eyes and whatnot. I would have to really see exactly what this pop vinyl looks like compared to how it looks like on as a picture and whatnot. But just to the whole point, it just seems kind of strange bringing in a mecha when even the original Godzilla, King Kong versus Godzilla movie came out. It didn't need a mecha in there. It was just him and Godzilla, and that was it. So going on now with the new stuff, among the whole things that something's bothering Godzilla. King Kong is being transported, kind of almost like how it was in the original, only a little bit, somewhat more different than usual, because in the trailer for Godzilla vs. King Kong, he's shackled and he's on one of those, I think it's a freight ship, where they have like the jets usually land on and whatnot, compared to, I think it was a regular, I don't know how big the boat was, because it's been a while since I've seen King Kong vs. Godzilla, where it's supposed to be, I think, a cruise ship or so, and then they have, I think it's like I don't know if it's either a long rope or some kind of like thing that is attached to a makeshift, I guess, bamboo or some kind of wooden raft, and tied with him with, not with shackles, but I think it's supposed to be like some kind of like very strong twine, or at least to what to be believed with twine. And then, considering how when they start fighting in the trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong, that, he's already out of the chains and whatnot, and how, for King Kong versus Godzilla, that he gets, well, supposedly gets exploded because they had a safety measure in which, if he started doing whatever, they would use the dynamite that they had in order to, I guess, dispel him, or at least like something to him. I mean, it kind of seems counterintuitive when it didn't really actually happen once it did get put down for the plunger for the TNT. And then he made his way afterwards, going to meet Godzilla after that for the original movie. So then afterwards, both them fighting and whatnot, and then, I mean, even to a lot of people that, that Kong won. I mean, considering it was just a win. I mean, at least within monster movies, that it's a win without killing anybody. Even though it kind of seems strange, like considering that he fell in the water, but there was nothing else left. Showing like, oh, maybe he's unconscious or anything. They didn't really like show anything towards the end. They just assumed that Godzilla, I guess like gave up or whatever, or at the very least to whatever actually happened to him, and that Kong just went back to being. I still can't remember if it's either Skull Island or if it's actually. I think it's a different name for the place where he is in the original King Kong versus Godzilla. And then you got Skull Island, which I still haven't watched that one, and which I kind of hope to be doing so, because considering the fact that I can watch Skull Island on HBO Plus, which I hope to make time for, considering I still got time before this happens. So at least I get filled in with a lot more news, and maybe I might do a review, depending on if you guys want me to do that. And it goes on from that, and then it goes on from, for Godzilla vs. Kong, and then how that so far more with the trailer that, like, everybody's confused what's Godzilla doing, and that, with Kong and everything. Which, again, for both movies, it kind of seems like they're doing the bad idea of the same thing. Like, they're taking Kong and, like, more of like a territory type thing. Like, Kong's supposed to be in Skull Island and Godzilla is supposed to be out here doing whatever. That, the whole point is that you're bringing some enemy that isn't supposed to be within distance of Godzilla just to fight him. But once again, it's hard to tell exactly where this movie's going until once either they put another trailer out, or at the very well least, once the movie finally does debut. So, for the most part of it, let's just try to keep our heads in this kind of thing. I know a lot of what I've so far have talked about in certain blogs and whatnot, or not blogs, but certain chat rooms I've done so far, that a lot of people are really wanting Godzilla, or not Godzilla, I want Kong to win. Which, again, I mean, I am more of a Godzilla fan. I really don't care too much for Kong stuff. I have seen some of them. If anything, the only one I've ever really seen for Kong would be the one with Jack Black in it, which I think I think it's Peter Jackson one. I think for the one with Jack Black being whatever, and then you got the one actress, and then she ends up trying to distract Kong and whatnot, and try to keep him entertained and whatnot. I can't remember if that was Legendary or if that was somebody else, whoever's company it was for on that time with that movie, and not that it pertains to, because like Skull Island, I think, I mean, it is somewhat of a sequel, but I can't remember if that's still the same one or not compared to how it was in there, because apparently in Skull Island, apparently he's supposed to be still at adolescent age and size, and then later on afterwards that how big he is, now he's somewhat of the full grown adult. I don't know if it's either alpha or whatever they said on somewhat of a review on IGN about the reason why he's a little bigger than he was early before. So, not really much else I could possibly say as of now, because, anything else I would possibly say is just more of like, saying about, who I think would win. I'm really still kind of hoping that, if anything, Godzilla winning, but to the majority part, if not, like, just to see exactly what happens here, because it's somewhat too early to say. it kind of seems so weird how a lot of people are already decreeing, this person's gonna win, or this person's gonna win, this monster's gonna win, the other monster's gonna win. It all really depends on exactly what direction that the people for Legendary and Toho and everybody else is planning on, or has already planned on decreeing in this movie. It all really depends on them, not really us. It all really depends on how they made the movie, and once we get to finally watch it, and how the story unfolds for all of us. So hopefully we can keep our heads in this kind of thing, and to finally see who actually wins, or depending on whatever exactly happens in the movie. So with that majority out of the way, I really want to just to say this one last thing about certain reasons. Like, for me, one of the things I would have to really say about for Godzilla versus King Kong type stuff. I mean, look at all the accolades. I mean, even though that Legendary is a whole different Godzilla compared to all of them, but look at all the things that Godzilla's ever really done. If anything, either for mankind or at least to fix up anything from mankind, that he's battled so many different monsters and whatnot. And then for King Kong, yeah, he's battled monsters too, but that's more of like monsters that he had to deal with within the island himself. And maybe like what in the King Kong versus Godzilla thing, he fought an octopus that came up from the ocean, and that's about it. But like for Godzilla, depending on I guess how you would say it, and considering that I don't think he battled as much, considering that's the next movie afterwards for from Godzilla Raids Again to King Kong versus Godzilla, which that would only be Anguirus by that time. That he's already defeated for anything that any enemies, but going on later after that, he's done so much. But then again, it's concerning the fact that it's not the same Godzilla all the time. It's really hard to differentiate each particular accolade and whether to pin that all in one particular creature or try to do each generation of Godzilla and stuff like that. I mean, considering there's been multiple different different things for King Kong, but to the majority part, it's always somewhat of the same kind of thing. I mean, this is the only variation of Kong that we have actually seen that has done more than just it being the same somewhat formula, and bringing him to the rest of the world compared to like how it is now and the reasons to bring him for with Godzilla and whatnot. So other than that, not really much else I could possibly say to you guys. This being only the first thoughts of what I think of, and hopefully I'll be doing another one maybe after the next trailer of the movie, or at the very well least to whatever comes out, maybe towards the middle of February, or maybe do another one towards the middle, just so if I have anything new to be talking about and whatnot. So hopefully, like I said before, we keep our heads with this, to be patient, and hopefully all get to see this new incredible movie that's coming out soon, among all other ones. That'll be coming out around this time, if I remember correctly, in order for at least HBO what they've been showing so far. So with that all said, guys, thank you guys all for watching my video. I'm sorry for this being a long one. I just really wanted to get some stuff out there, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully to be staying tuned for all the other reviews of anything that you want, for to be talking about this new movie coming out. And if anything, if you guys want me to do like me reviews of older movies, either of possibly, well, I would say more of Godzilla ones, I would really like to do. But if you want me to do anything of this type of thing, write down in the comment section below. But among all that, thank you guys all for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. If you have subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you hit that bell notification to get notifications of present and future videos. If you like this video, give it a like. If you have suggestions or you want to see for my next video, anything you want to see on my YouTube channel or anything at all, make sure to write down in the comment section below. Thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.